Yes guys, welcome back to the FunBikes YouTube channel. I'm Finn and today I'm going to be showing you the build and assembly process for our Ranger 1000 watt quad bike. So your bike can go from looking like this to this. Let's get this thing out of the box. So guys, the tools you're going to need for this assembly are going to be a pair of wire cutters, 8mm spanner, 10mm spanner, 13mm spanner and a 5mm Allen key. So guys, now we've got this quad out of the box, I'm now going to show you what came in the box part wide and what we're going to be needed for. Starting up here, we've got the front bull bar, we've got part box which I'll explain in detail in just 1 second, you've got your rear bull bar, you've also got the other half to your front bull bar. So in your bar box, in here you have your bob pad and bar pad cover, your battery charger, you've got the toolkit. This will get you through the assembly, but I do recommend using your own tools if you do have some. We've got a nuts and bolts bag, we've got tie and valve screwdriver, we've got 4 wheel caps. We've also received a manual which I highly recommend you read through as it shows how to maintain the battery and the quad itself. So guys, I'm now going to run you through what parts came in your parts bag. So if we start here on the left, you see you got 4 handlebar clamps, but these two at the top are going to be your top clamps because they've got the ridges on, and the bottom ones don't have ridges, so no, they're the bottom. Here we've got 4 handlebar bolts, you've got 2 longer ones, 2 shorter, you'll understand why soon. Here you've got 3 bolts and 3 nuts for your shocks. You've got 2 spare fuses here, you've also got a spare nut and a spare bolt, and finally we've got your rear deflector. So guys, now we've got our quad on the stand and we've got all our parts sorted, we know where they're going to be going and what they're going to be used for. We can now move on to assembly. So starting off, we're going to be doing our handlebars. So for this, you're going to want to grab one bottom clamp, one top clamp, also a long and a short handlebar bolt. We'll also need a 10mm spanner. So starting off, you're going to grab your bottom clamp. We know this, it's got no ridges on the bottom here. And that's going to line up with these grooves on the handlebars here. So all you're going to want to do, so that's going to rest on top of there. Again, the grooves you can see sit on top. So our top clamp can then go on. Make sure you don't trap any wires in between the clamps. Now you want to grab your long handlebar bolt. You kind of want to scoop up the ignition barrel, unless you have a helping hand to help you. Makes it easier, like so. And then you can wiggle till it goes in the hole. And then you can screw it in. It doesn't need to be too tight as long as it's holding on. So now you can grab your short one, and that's just going to go in the top hole there. Alright, so should look like this from one side, we'll be doing the exact same on this side. So now we've got all 4 of these bolts in, you can see this is how it's meant to look. Obviously we've got to adjust the handlebar angle. So what you want to do is if you were to stand to the side of the quad and look across, you can see that this bar is sitting directly in between the 2 bolts. That's the ideal lever angle. Again, you still want those grooves under the clamps. So now you can grab your 10mm spanner and just make sure these are nice and tight. So now you've got all 4 of these bolts nice and tight. You can give the handlebars a little tug, and as you can see, they're nice and solid, so we can now move on to the next part. So guys, moving on with our assembly, we're now going to be doing your front shocks. This is nice and simple. You're going to want to grab 2 of your shock bolts and 2 of the nuts. You're also going to need a 10 and a 13mm spanner. So nice and simple, so you've got your 2 shocks here. All you're going to do is lift up this part of your frame to line up the holes. Should slide straight through like that, and you can put your nut on the inside, and we'll do the same for this side. This side should be a bit easier. Just line up the holes and then push straight through. Again, not on the other side. So now you can grab your spanners, your 10 will be on this side, 13 on this side. Once that side's tight, do the same for this side. Like so. so. And with that, your 2 front shocks are now installed. So guys, moving on with assembly, we're going to be installing your front bull bar. So the first step we're going to need to do is grab this part of your front bull bar and also this part of your front bull bar. The only bit you're going to need for this assembly are going to be a 10 and a 5mm. So a 5mm Allen key, 10mm spanner. First step, take these 2 bolts out. And you can grab this part of your bull bar, and these 2 holes are going to sit on here, like so. These are the same bolts we just took out, so make sure you use them, not any other ones. So you don't want to tighten these just yet, as we've got another part to add. This bull bar, these 2 gaps here, they're going to sit on these 2 black pillars. So what we're going to want to do, you're going to want to grab your 8mm spanner and your 10, and underneath you'll see a 10mm nut. So you want to take this off. That's as simple as unscrewing the top bolt or the bottom one, doesn't really matter. So you want to take the nut off, take this long bolt out, or the whole thing actually, and you can put the back bit back. I'm going to put these to one side for now. So we've got to do the exact same thing on the other side. So again, take your bolt and your nut off. You can leave that black bit on there. Again, put that to one side. So now you want to grab your bull bar and the long bolt. And so this is going to sit on top of the black bin, just like that. And then it should go through the hole and the bolt aim on, like so. And then just so it doesn't come off, so put that nut back on, just like that for now. Now we know it's not going to fall off. Again, I'm going to do the exact same for the other side. Put the nut back on, but we still don't want to tighten it just yet. So now you can grab your 5mm, which I told you to cut back. What you want to do is you want to take out these 2 5mm on the side of the first one we put on there, the other one. So now you can lift this up. Now what you want to do is you want to fit this hole onto there. And one. So now we can start tightening everything. So we can start from here. Doesn't really matter what order you tighten them in, as long as they're all nice and tight. So that's them 2 tight. Now you can grab the 10mm. Come to the bottom, tighten these up. Then make sure they're nice and tight. Like so. And then we can do final ones. So just want to hold your 10mm at the bottom. And then if the ratchet side of your spanner does work, obviously you can use that. If not, just use your 8 and just tighten it up, like so. And now you're going to do the exact same on this side. Hold the bottom and make sure they're nice and tight. There we are, so now we have them tightened. This is all your front bull bar should look like. So guys, moving on to the next part of the assembly, we're going to be doing a few things at once here. So we're going to be fitting your rear shock, your rear reflector and your rear bull bar. So the tools you're going to need for this: 10mm spanner, 13mm spanner, 8mm spanner, pair of wire cutters. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our rear shock. So for this, you're just going to need your shock and bolt. So what you want to do is we're going to cut this metal wire. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're holding the rear axle, as it might just drop. Well, it was. So you don't want to damage any wires. Just make sure you're holding it, or you get someone else to hold it while you cut it. So now, what we want to do, pull the bag off of the shock. All we're going to want to do is line up the rear shock with the hole. So once you've got that through, you can then put the nut on the other side. So, then you want to grab your 10 and 13mm spanner. I just want to make sure this is nice and tight. The 13 is the right and the 10mm is the left side. So once that's tight, that's all done. So now we can move on to our rear reflector. Nice and simple. I'm going to take this nut off and the rubber washer. I'm going to take the nut off with the other spacers and just get it done. So then you put your rubber washer back on and you want to slide it onto this hole here. You put the nut on the back, if you can see that. Then you're going to make sure this is nice and tight. So once that's tight, you can see it's not going anywhere. So the final step we're going to be doing while we're down here, like I said, it's going to be your rear bull bar. For this, you're just going to need a 10mm spanner. So first step, we're going to take these 10mm bolts out. Two that side, and then there'll be two this side as well. Still, of course, they're tight. So what we're going to do now, we're going to lift up the rear bull bar with the outside, line up the holes, and just get it in a few threads. And when you've got all four in, all we're going to do is tighten them up fully. Like so. So now you can grab 10mm again, trying to make sure they're nice and tight. So now you want to do the same for this side. Again, just make sure they're nice and tight. So, and the last one as well. And with that, you've got your rear shock, rear deflector and rear bull bar all installed. So guys, moving on to one of the final stages of your assembly, we're going to be putting the cherry on the cake, which is going to be our bar pad and our wheel caps. So nice and simple steps. You're going to take the bar pad cover off, put your bar pad cover on, and you can wrap the bar pad cover back round on itself, and it should sit nicely like that. And then with the wheel caps, two sizes. Top here we've got the bigger ones, and at the closer here we've got the two smaller ones. The two smaller ones will go on the front, two big ones on the back. So all you want to do is just put it on and give it a whack, same as the back. And then do the exact same with this side as well. There we go. So guys, and with that you've done your assembly for your Ranger 1000 bot. This is the exact same assembly process for the Ranger 50cc. Obviously the only difference is that that is a two-stroke quad. But before that, I'm going to show you how to give power to the vehicle. So over here on this side, you'll see this plug, which will plug into this slot here. You just want to pull that down and then push that in. Should make a little pop noise when it's clicked in properly. Should. Well, it didn't that time. Sometimes it will, but if it does, that's perfectly fine. So now if you want to turn your key, put it in forward, you can already see we've got power. We've got a horn, we've got lights, and there we go, we've got power to the quad. So guys, before you do take this in for a ride, there's one more thing you do need to do, and that's going to be a full nut and bolt check. So I'm now going to run you through all the bolts in the vehicle that you're going to have to check. Starting here at the back, you're going to check your rear wheels, the bolt underneath the cap. You want to check all the bolts around the rear brake here and the motor. You want to check these bolts for the footrests, your rear swing arm, and over the front. You again want to check the front wheel here. You want to check this bolt, and your front brake. So with that one side, the other side is completely identical, so you just want to do the exact same on this side of the quad, not this side. I would also, please make sure you do check every single bolt on the bike. Doesn't matter how big, how small, where it is, just make sure it's tight. So guys, and that's it, you have fully finished your assembly of our FunBikes Ranger 1000 watt. Again, like I said, it's the exact same build as a 50cc, but if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll respond to them as quick as I can. And also, before your child does go on a ride on this, please make sure they're wearing the correct protective equipment, for example, the helmet, gloves, body armor, etc. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.